Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Ashley Pickens here in Memphis, Tennessee. You guys, and the new foreclosure numbers are out. We have the full first half foreclosure activity, and we're going to go into all of those numbers. But let me give you a really quick lesson on foreclosure filings. Y'all, I forgot to do my introduction. Welcome if you are new here. I'm Ashley Pickens, you guys. I've been in real estate since 2006 as a real estate agent, as a real estate broker, but y'all know me as your auction mama because I auction off foreclosures at the courthouse. I'm the one that says going once, going twice, sold. So that's what I do here in Memphis, Shelby County, all the way to Nashville and into parts of Mississippi. So, okay, now we can talk about the article that just came out. Okay, so first half U.S. foreclosure activity. Foreclosures are up. Shocker. So let's talk about it. Now they're going to talk about foreclosure filings, right? Right now we have 187,659 U.S. properties with foreclosure filings. Let's go, class. Let me explain something to you real quick. When it comes to foreclosure, there's three main phases of foreclosure. The homeowner gets behind on their mortgage, usually 3 months. Y'all, most people who call me behind like 2 and 3 years. However, 3 months they get behind, the lender files that notice of sale or that notice of default. That's the first filing. Second filing, the house is scheduled for auction. Boom, second filing. That's me, your auction mama. And the third and final phase and filing is the lender repossesses the property, right? If I can't sell it at auction, it goes back to the lender and becomes an REO, bank-owned property. 3 phases. Boom. You're gonna learn today on this channel. So, like I said, 187,659 properties have some sort of foreclosure filing on them right now. That's in the first 6 months of 2025. This figure is up 5.8% from the same time period a year ago. So, and they have a little chart. I'll put the chart up here so you can kind of see where we are. They have the different years all the way from 2008 all the way to now, 2025. We have 187,000 properties. This is the highest that it has been since COVID. So, 2020 we had 165,000 properties in foreclosure. 2019 we had 296,000. Y'all, 2018 362,000. 2017 428,000 properties in foreclosure. So understand, y'all, our numbers have been so low post COVID. Y'all, we have no choice but to go up. We cut off a whole arm of our real estate market, which is foreclosures. I always say that, and I don't mean to be insensitive at all, right? It's the circle of life when it comes to real estate. People buy homes, sell homes, and some people unfortunately lose their home. It's part of the foreclosure process. In literally 2017, we had 428,000 properties in foreclosure. But since COVID and the moratorium and all the assistance and forbearance and deferments and all that, we have not been foreclosing on people. So you can only imagine how many people are in the pipeline that are just sitting, haven't paid their mortgage. Y'all, people call me all the time who have not paid in 3 and 4 years. Hear me, they have not paid. When I see their past due balance and it's $130,000 past due, y'all. So right now we are creeping up. This is the highest it has been since COVID. So let's keep going. Foreclosure activity continued its upward trend in the first half of 2025 with increases in both starts, that first phase, and completed foreclosures, REOs. More properties are going back to the bank. I've said this before, y'all. These properties that I'm seeing in foreclosure, they just bought them in the last 3 and 4 years. Brand new properties in foreclosure going back to the bank. Okay, I did a whole masterclass. Shout out to everybody who came to the masterclass last week on bank-owned properties, and I walked you through. Here's where you find them. This is how you make offers. All bank-owned properties, even though they're sold as is, baby, they don't look as is. You're getting brand new houses built in 2022 on bank-owned, that are bank-owned right now. Let's keep going because y'all know I can talk. So let's keep going. States that saw the greatest increase in foreclosure activity compared to a year ago is Alaska, up 55%, Rhode Island, up 51%, Wyoming, up 46%, Utah, up 46%, and Colorado, up 41%. Let me say this. All those states that I just named, Alaska, Rhode Island, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, they never on the list. So they must have just had a really, you know, when you have 0 foreclosures and then you get like 5, it's like foreclosures have drastically jumped up, you know, but it's only like how many houses in Wyoming? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Right? Shout out to Wyoming and Utah. So that's what I think it is, because these states are literally never on the list. So they must be seeing some kind of increase that has their numbers looking like, oh my gosh, right? So let's keep going. Let's keep going. States with the worst foreclosure rates in the first half of 2025. Here we are. Illinois, Delaware, Nevada, Florida, and South Carolina. Those are the same states that have been on the list the last 3-4 years. Go back and watch my videos. Same states. Other states with first half foreclosure rates among the 10 worst nationwide were Indiana, New Jersey, Connecticut, Ohio, and Texas. Shout out to New Jersey and up there in New York. I see all the flooding. Y'all, these storms not storming like they used to. Like, I don't know, like Poseidon or somebody. I don't know. So, y'all, be careful. Let's keep going. Among the 225 metropolitan statistical areas with a population of at least 200,000, the worst foreclosure rates in the first half, Lakeland, Florida. They stay on this. They've been on the list the last 4 years. Columbia, South Carolina, been on the list. Chicago, Illinois, been on the list. Ocala, Florida. At this point, I should know how to say it. At this point. Ocala, Florida, and Jacksonville, North Carolina. This is the first time I've seen Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's usually Jacksonville, Florida. Other major metro areas are Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's the first time I've seen them. Las Vegas, Nevada, Cleveland, Ohio, Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Palm Beach, Florida. Topping the list. Let's keep going. Foreclosure starts. That's that first phase. The homeowner gets behind, and that first notice. You just got that certified mail saying you are in foreclosure. That starts, okay? A total of 140,000 properties started the foreclosure process in the first 6 months of 2025, up 7% from the first half of last year, and up 41% from the first half of 2020. I will link this article down below so y'all can read with your own eyes, because sometimes I guess y'all think I make up numbers in cities and states. I don't know. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Let's talk about states that saw the greatest number of foreclosure starts. Texas with 17,680 foreclosure starts. Number 2, Florida with 15,198. California had 14,751 foreclosure starts. Illinois 7,922, and New York with 6,585 foreclosure starts. These are people going into foreclosure. Now, a lot of times I see this working with homeowners. A homeowner maybe files bankruptcy, right? If you didn't know, bankruptcy can stop your auction immediately, okay? So people will file bankruptcy to stop their auction. Boom. Keep it, I guess, for a while. I don't know exactly how bankruptcy works. They come out of bankruptcy and then go back into foreclosure. So their process starts all over again. It's so many people just on this hamster wheel. Foreclosure, forbearance, deferment. We're going to do a modification. We go back into foreclosure. We file bankruptcy. Now we're back in foreclosure. It's a bunch of people, y'all. It's a vicious cycle. So let's keep going. Bank repossessions. That is the third and final phase. When the lender takes it back, it reverts back to the beneficiary. So lenders foreclosed on a total of 21,007 U.S. properties in the first 6 months of 2025. Up 12% from the first half of 2024, but down 7%. States that posted the greatest number of REOs in the first half. Texas. Every time I say the word Texas, I'm just like, y'all have no idea what's coming. Some of y'all see it, but I guess because I'm kind of behind the curtain or behind on the other side where I work with foreclosures. I talk to the trustees. I talk to the other auctioneers. Texas, buckle up. That's all I can say. If you're there, if you behind on your mortgage, talk to your lender. Y'all, I told you my friend who auctions right there around Austin, y'all filed, 15 foreclosures last week. All of them were purchased in 2021. Every one that she had to file 2021, you guys. And that's what has been for the last year. It's so many people going into foreclosure who just bought their house. And I always say, y'all, it takes so much to buy a house. You know what I mean? Maybe not for everybody. But I feel like you got to get your down payment. You got to get your finances in order. You got to, you know what I mean? All the things that come with buying a house. And it's supposed to be a joyous occasion to turn around and lose it in like 2 or 3 years. Y'all, it really, I feel bad for people. But y'all, that's what I'm seeing. Exactly what we're seeing. An uptick in people who just bought going into foreclosure. So, lenders foreclosed, like I said, on 21,000 properties. States that posted the greatest number of REOs. Texas, number 1, with 2,207 REOs. California had 1,799 REOs. Pennsylvania had 1,461 bank-owned properties. Illinois had 1,439. And Michigan had 1,260 REO properties. You guys, where do you find them? That's HUDHomestore.com, homepath.com, homesteps.com. Y'all, I'm gonna run that bank-owned masterclass back. Y'all enjoyed it so much, and I've had so many people ask me, like, when am I gonna do the next one? Because I'm gonna show you where to find them. I'm gonna show you how to submit an offer. I'm gonna show you all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna do it. Be on the lookout for that. I'll probably do it in the next week and a half. You know what I mean? So the sign up will be, it's a really good class, honestly, because I'm your teacher. Duh. Okay, let's talk about average time to foreclose. Okay, continues to decline. So now that's getting faster. They're pushing properties through this pipeline. It's so many. Like, how long can the banks hold on? Right? You got a ton of people who can't pay. Y'all, it's just so much going on. And then storms, and people are losing their houses to floods and weather. And then these layoffs. I had a lady call in foreclosure. Her and her husband got laid off. I guess in the federal rifts. You know what I'm saying? They both got laid off. Had just bought a house. Brand new house. Y'all, laid off and in foreclosure. Auction scheduled for August 11th. Beautiful house. Y'all, do you hear me? Beautiful house. Like sitting on 2 acres. They had it built. They were making plenty of money. You know what I mean? Saved. Had both of them lost their jobs in foreclosure. Y'all, it's getting rough out here. It's getting rough. So average time to foreclose continues to decline. So they're pushing them through faster. Properties foreclosed in Q2 2025 had been in the foreclosure process an average of, guess how long they had been in the foreclosure process? 645 days. That is the average timeline. It takes 645 days to go through the foreclosure process. That figure was down 4% from the previous quarter and down 21% from a year ago. If y'all have been following me, you know some of these states, here we go, states with the longest average foreclosure timelines for homes were Louisiana, 3,612 days in foreclosure. People spend 3,612 days. But also Louisiana, 1 in 10 homes are underwater in Louisiana. What's going on in Louisiana? We can't talk about Louisiana because after Katrina, we can't talk about Louisiana. You know what I mean? Some of y'all probably not even old enough to remember Katrina. But Louisiana, they struggling in the real estate market, you guys. Is the whole state like in a flood zone? I don't know, you guys. Hawaii, 2,746 days. That's how long it takes you to go through foreclosure in Hawaii. We don't talk about Hawaii either because they've been through some things with the wildfires. Nevada. Okay, we ain't talking about Nevada. 1,974 days. This is how long it's taking for the bank to foreclose on people. 1,009. This is years when you add it all up. New York, it takes 1,927 days to foreclose. And Connecticut, it takes 1,874 days. Let's talk about the states with the shortest average foreclosure timeline. Wyoming, 125 days. Texas, y'all better get on the phone with your lender and communicate. Texas, it takes 135 days to foreclose. You get behind and they're going to push you through, especially if you're not picking up the phone and talking to your lender. If you live in Texas and you are behind on your mortgage, pick up the phone and ask them, is there any assistance? Is there anything you can do? Stop ignoring your mail. Stop ignoring the phone calls, because they're going to foreclose on you in 135 days. New Hampshire, 149 days. Montana, 154 days. And Minnesota, 162 days. Worst quarterly foreclosure rates were in South Carolina, Illinois, and Florida. There were a total of 100,687 properties with a foreclosure filing during the second quarter. Okay, so they were in one of the three phases. So let's talk about it. The states: South Carolina, Florida, Delaware, and Nevada. Among the 110 metropolitan statistical areas with at least 500,000 people: Lakeland, Florida; Columbia, South Carolina; Palm Bay, Florida; Bakersville, California; and Cleveland, Ohio. And then they have like a list of all the states, like top 10 with the most foreclosures across the country. You guys, y'all, it's getting real out here in the real estate market. If you're behind, you guys, talk to your bank. If you know somebody behind, if your grandparents are behind. I called somebody the other day, right? They called me back, and it was a lady, and she said, you just called me and you mentioned foreclosure, but I'm trying to see who is it for. And I looked and I said, your number is associated with this address. She said, that's my son's house. She said, is my son in foreclosure? I said, he is. She was like, okay, send me all the information. You know, she's like, what can I do to help him? I was like, y'all need to get on the phone with the bank. Get on the phone with the bank, see what your options are, find out how far behind your son is, and then go from there. If you need help, call me back. We'll see if there's some assistance that he can get. She was like, thank you so much. She's like, because clearly he is not talking to me. So that's a word to everybody watching. You know what I mean? If you know your son or daughter or grandmother or mother just lost their job, or maybe their Social Security is cut, or they've got a whole bunch of mail piling up, or their phone is ringing and they ignoring these phone calls, y'all, they might be behind on their mortgage. Y'all, it's millions of people behind on their mortgage. HUD just put their numbers out on delinquencies, but they put it in a little chart instead of putting it in a paragraph. So now I got to ask ChatGPT to dissect the numbers so I can share it with you, because it's probably so many they don't even want to write it out anymore. But it's up. Like, I can tell the percentages are definitely up for sure. I guess that's why they stopped putting it in percentage. That's why they stopped writing it out, so I could just read it to y'all. Now I gotta calculate how many people behind, and then you have to multiply by 2 after that. So you guys, take care of yourselves. If you are about to buy a house, make sure you can afford it comfortably and not barely, right? We ain't dating the rate. We ain't doing that, right? We don't do that over here on this channel. So you guys, you know, I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. The mentorship is open. It starts July 31st, but those are for people who want to help people who are in pre-foreclosure, right? Before they go to the auction. That's what that is for. Getting properties like that. And I teach you all my methods. I mean, for 6 weeks. Can you imagine me for 6 weeks? Every Thursday at 7 o'clock. But the link is down below if you want to sign up for that. Really good mentorship. I keep it very small, so I can talk to you and get to know you and find out what's going on in your real estate market and help you, you know, help homeowners that are there where you live and possibly get properties and that kind of stuff. I'm also going to run back the bank-owned boot camp masterclass. I'll announce a date here shortly, probably in the next. Today is July 20th. Happy Sunday. So probably in the next week or so, so before the end of the month, we'll do that for sure. So be on the lookout for that. You guys, that's it. I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The channel is growing. Shout out to y'all. So that's it, you guys. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video.